2019. 2019 was such a year of unraveling for me, a year of diagnosis, acceptance, and survival. So that's why in this video, I'll be sharing with you guys how getting diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder changed my life. Hello guys, welcome to Chronicles of Malia. My name is Malia, but before we get right into the video, I would like to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for the love, thank you for the likes, thank you for the comment. I see some of you getting in my DMs. I don't know how you guys know to get me in my DMs, and you guys are like, I really appreciate your videos. I really appreciate you coming out to be vulnerable and talking about, you know, stuff that are going on with you. I really appreciate the good vibes. You guys are so damn amazing. And for those of you just joining us, I really hope that you're going to subscribe and you're going to love this channel and you're going to love me and you're going to like and you're going to share and you're going to, you know, do all of those things because it really helps the channel. Anywho, let's not talk too much, let's get straight into the video. Now, in my previous video titled TMI tag, in case you haven't seen that video, the link will be up here, or down below, whichever one. So go watch it so you know what I'm talking about. So someone asked me how I am dealing with anxiety and depression, and I'm like, to tell that story, I have to start from the beginning. So about 2017, 2017, something really traumatic happened to me, and that actually scarred me in the worst way that I ever thought was possible. And even though I found a way to get out of that situation, it took me quite a long time, you know, to be able to come to, you know, when I mean able to come to, when I left the situation, it was really hard for me to even go out of the house because I actually thought someone was following me. I actually thought someone was going to do something really bad to me. I thought, you know, like, I can't even work, I can't even put myself out there because that will be reminding the person, oh, okay, this girl, you know, I'm supposed to do something shitty to her. And this is not to say I did something terrible to a person. Actually, I didn't, okay? But that's a story for another video. If you guys want to see a video on that, let me know in the comment section, and I hopefully will drop a video on that. Moving over to Lagos was really hard for me. It was a good decision, but it was also very hard because I couldn't do anything. I would lock myself up in the house, and, you know, like I said previously, I couldn't, you know, do anything for work because I was really scared. But I had quite enough saved up, you know, for, you know, setting needs and stuff like that. And I thought, you know, after a while, you know, the whole fear actually died down. But then I didn't know my subconscious has actually registered it. And I started to have moments when I would break down, you know, I would cry, I would not eat, I would not sleep. I would be scared that someone is actually planning to make me lose my mind because this intense fear would envelop me and I wouldn't be able to think straight. I wouldn't be able to do anything. I felt really hopeless. I felt really helpless. I felt like, you know, yes, I had, because after I left the situation, I had about 1 year where, you know, it was really amazing. Even though I had, you know, certain fears, it was really amazing. I had such an amazing relationship. I had such an amazing partner. You know, it was so amazing. So at the point, I was telling God, thank you so much for giving me that 1 year, because at least I had 1 year to enjoy life. So if anything was to happen to me after that 1 year, then I'm ready to go. You know, at the point I was actually ready to go, which is actually weird. But after that 1 year, you know, the whole thing came and it hit me really hard. I couldn't sleep. This was very intense. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything. All I would do is cry and panic. You know, I'll be in the bathroom and you know, it would be in my head like someone is coming into the house to do something bad to me. You know, I would be in the kitchen cooking or be in a space where I'm alone. I always had a thought that someone was, you know, coming to hurt me, and I literally broke down. I literally broke down. Like, I couldn't do anything. I'm the kind of person that likes to wake up in the morning, you know, appreciate God for another day, you know, do 1 or 2 things around the house. I don't like breakfast, so I won't put it on there that then have breakfast. You know, I'll listen to music or go on my social media to see what's happening there. but I just couldn't bring myself to do any of those things. I used to love listening to music. I just couldn't do any of those things. I used to love cooking. It became so much work. I used to love a lot of things, but all of those things became work. They became work for me. Every single time I would go to bed and I would sleep for like 10, 11, 12 hours, because as at that time I didn't have any form of work, and I would sleep so much into the day, like about 12 p.m., 1 p.m. And every single time I would wake up, I would feel super duper tired. And I just couldn't understand what was going on. I had this fear. I was having palpitations. I was having, my dad's a medical doctor, and he called it globulous hysteria. I'm going to put it on the screen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. And I had this, time where I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't swallow anything. It felt like something was stuck in my throat. I would go to the hospital. I went for tests several times, and, every single time the test result will come out and be like, you are perfectly fine. And then I decided to go for the whole body checkup, because I thought in my head that I would rather have something wrong with me than to, just be in my head, because everybody kept telling me it's in your head, you're okay, you're fine. And, that actually made me feel like, okay, yeah, this particular person that I was running from has actually succeeded in making me go crazy, and it was such a very dark moment for me, because I just wanted to have something wrong with my. So sorry for that interruption. I actually got a call, but let's go ahead. So like I was saying, I really wanted something to be wrong with my body and not with my mind, and to the point where I was literally spending thousands and thousands of naira going to hospitals, going to the lab, going to different doctors, because I felt like there was something wrong with me physically and nothing wrong with me mentally. I did not want anything to be wrong with me mentally, because of the fear and all the hysteria and everything. A friend of mine was like, okay, you need to see a psychiatrist. And I was like, a psychiatrist? I am not crazy. Like, I was actually thinking I was going crazy, but I did not want to accept the fact that I was going crazy, because I didn't want to believe it. She was like, you need to see a psychiatrist or a therapist or a psychotherapist, any form of therapist. Like, you need to get out of this zone that you are. And I was like, no, I am definitely not going to see a therapist or a psychiatrist, because here in Nigeria we have this stereotype, about people that go to see a psychiatrist or a therapist. We have this idea that, they have a spiritual problem, or someone has actually done something to them. When someone talks about mental health in Nigeria, there's a way people look at you and they're like, this one we can't actually marry you. This one we can't actually have anything with you. You're not okay. Your head no the house, that's what they usually say. And I was scared, because I didn't want to have that stigma. If I finally decided to go to see a psychiatrist after so many talks. If it were possible for me to actually wear a face mask to go see the doctor, yeah, I would have worn that face mask. But I finally decided that it was high time I went to see a psychiatrist, which I did. So my friend booked an appointment for me with a psychiatrist. I can't even remember the hospital, because it's actually a memory that I do not even want to have. Absolutely not. So I went to see the psychiatrist, and it's a guy, or it was a guy, or it's a guy. So he asked me what the problem was, and I told him that everything that's been going on with me. I've been having heart palpitations. I've been having globulous hysteria. I can't speak today. I've been having globulous hysteria. I've been having crazy thoughts in my head. I can't sleep. I'm literally going insane. So he was like, okay, everything is fine. Airplane. Let's let it go away. Okay, it's gone. So he was like, okay, everything is fine, you'll be okay. I'm going to prescribe you a drug. And he prescribed me amitriptyline. So I was like, oh, okay, thank you. I had faith that everything would be fine. He gave me his contact and was like, if there's any problem in taking the drugs, I should let him know. If there's any further problem, I should let him know. So I came home that day, and I forgot something. Before I went to the psychiatrist, I actually went to a hospital. I told you I was going to several hospitals. One of the hospitals I went to, the symptoms was, one of the symptoms I had was anxiety, and they were like, okay, there's a possibility you had thyroid, you have something wrong with your thyroid gland. And I was praying to God, like, please let it be something wrong with my thyroid. I don't want to feel like I don't want to be crazy. So he was like, he gave me some drugs, propranolol, if I would put the name on the screen, I'm really sorry, propranolol, and something else, I can't really remember that one. He gave me 2 drugs, and they actually helped. They actually helped, they have actually helped relax my nerves, got me to relax and sleep. But it wasn't the same as, previously. I was still panicking at night. I was having panic attacks left, right, center. It was really intense. So I have now back to the psychiatrist. So I came back home and I started taking the meds, and for the first 2 nights it was really good, because every morning when I woke up I would have panic attacks. It's like waking up to reality, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to be reality. I just wanted to keep sleeping. I wanted to keep sleeping and sleeping, but it was really impossible. And I called the doctor and I told him, this is what's happening. Like, this man is actually literally driving me insane. So he was like, I should up the dose, I should up the dose. The more I kept upping the dose, the more I couldn't sleep, the more I couldn't do anything else. So I just thought I was a lost cause, because there was something he told me. He was like, there are not a number of people that come with what you told me, and I give them amitriptyline and they're fine. So probably you have to see me again. Or I don't think he actually asked me to see him again. He was like, okay, I should just up the dose, because that dose is usually what his excuse me, is what his patients take. And I felt really hopeless. I was like, okay, it's actually official. I'm literally mad. I've actually lost my mind. I just couldn't be in the same space as people. I just couldn't even be with my partner anymore. So I decided to go home. I had packed my bag, and in packing my bag, in my head I was like, I'm not coming back here anymore. I'm not going to be the subject of laughing stock to other people. I'm not going to subdue myself to any form of reality. I just wanted to go home and be around the people that gave birth to me, and the people I really, really love. Well, I love my partner to death, but that's not to say that I didn't need my family. I needed my family. So I went home, and when I got home, my dad was like, okay, I am not going to give you anything to sleep, but just help tell your mind that you're home and you're safe and you're relaxed and you're okay and blah 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 blah, because I so much wanted something to sleep, because my sleep was so messed up. And for the first 2 nights it actually worked. I slept okay, I slept fine, I woke up feeling energized, but I think I stayed home for like a month, and I found God again. I started to reconnect back with reality. It was such an amazing time. Like, I just wanted to come back to Lagos, a place that I thought I had run away from. I came back to Lagos, and the first few nights were quite amazing, and then it started again. It made me feel like this is never gonna go away. This is how you're going to be for the rest of your life. Yeah, you're literally mad. Like, it's when you're having anxiety attacks where you're thinking so many things at the same time, and it's literally like you're almost screaming, like, shut up, shut up, shut up. I felt like nobody could help me. Yes, I found God, and at the same time I felt unworthy of his love, and so many other things that I'm not going to talk about probably in other videos, but that's not the point of this video. So it came back again. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I was panicking. So many things were coming into my head. I was in a very dark place, a very, very dark place. And my partner at this time, my partners decided that it was high time we actually go to a better doctor, because I told my partner that the psychiatrist didn't help me anyway. So I needed to see another doctor. So my partner was like, okay, fine, I'm going to find out about a psychotherapist, and you're going to go see the psychotherapist. I was like, okay, fine. So we got one in Lekki, and I was still a bit skeptical about going, because I felt like there was no hope for me. I'm broken and nobody can fix me, like I'm absolutely broken. So I decided, like, well, I have nothing to lose. I have already decided that I'm broken, so either ways it's not like I can be broken further, so let me just go here. And I went with absolutely nothing in mind, because I just felt like nobody can actually help me in this situation. So I got to the therapist, and a psychotherapist rather, and she was this older woman, and the office had God, Jesus, prophet, Psalm this, proverb this. Yes, even though I had found God at that time, I felt like there were certain things about my life that God did not like. So I felt really uncomfortable going into her office and saying all of these things, and I was like, okay, I need to get out of here, because I am not about to come into an office where I'm going to be judged. One, you're an older woman. Secondly, you have all of these things about God in your office. So I couldn't just imagine how I was going to be judged. So I felt like I was coming to be judged. But one tiny voice in my head was like, okay, you came here with nothing in your head, so just go in and just go in. So I got into the office. She was very friendly. Hello, welcome, your name, have a seat. So, she was like, okay, whenever you're ready. And I was like, oh, okay. I've never done this before, even the psychotherapist or the psychiatrist I saw the first time was all up in my face, like, dude, let me speak for a bit. And this person is like, I just want to listen to you. And she didn't say anything, and she was just looking at me, and I started crying. I poured out my heart. I said everything that was in my heart, and she got up and she hugged me. And one of the turning point for me was when I told her that I felt like God doesn't love me because of certain points or certain parts of my life. She opened a verse in the Bible that I can't remember, but I can remember the words, that even before you were born or conceived, He knew you. So there is nothing that you will do now or that you're doing now that will upset God, because He already knows you're going to do it. And because He has sent His Son to die for us, we are covered. Like, all we need to say or beg for is mercy, and we have it. We don't need to go through any form of special ritual. And I felt comfortable, and I felt safe with her. And she opened my eyes to a lot of things about myself. She opened my eyes to the fact that even though I had hungered for a lot of medicines to help me through whatever I was going through, it wasn't about the medicine. It was a renewal of the mindset. It needed to start from my mind, because that's where it's happening. Because if I then take care of the symptoms that is coming with it, then my mind is neglected, and it felt so refreshing. I went to see her 4 times, and at the end of the day it was like, okay girl, you have GAD. She didn't diagnose me herself. She got a psychiatrist, a proper psychiatrist, to come in, and I filled out some form, and we actually filled out some form. I did a very funny drawing that I would never forget in my life, and she said, yeah, you have generalized anxiety disorder. And after that time, for a while, it took me a while to accept what was going on with me. But the fact that I had a name to it, it wasn't like, girl, you have madness on top madness on top madness. It felt really good to know that there are certain people in this country that will listen to your story and listen to everything that's going on with you, and listen to parts of you that you hide away from people, and be like, you're loved. Oh, it felt so good. It felt so good. And having a name to whatever was going on with me, it felt so good. And she also helped remind me of the fact that this whole anxiety thing did not start from, the traumatic event. It actually triggered the anxiety to come back, in full force. But I've always had it. you know. And I sat down for a bit and I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, actually I have always had this anxiety thing, because you know, a lot of people used to take my shyness to be, you know, being a snob or being proud. But I had this fear that people would not like me if I approached them. You know, I always kept away from people. You know, I always felt like I was never enough. You know, it was just a bunch of things. But getting diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder changed a lot of things about me. First of all, it changed the stigma I had about mental health, about going to see a psychiatrist. You know, a lot of people growing up, I have had this mentality that you know, people with mental health problems are actually going through spiritual ish. And for me, it wasn't, you know, getting this diagnostic and meeting up with people that really helped me. It just, you know, eradicated that stereotype, eradicated that mentality. Like, mental health, you know, it has to do with the brain, sometimes the conditioning, you know, it has to do with the brain. It's like when you have fever, it has to do with certain parts of your body. So when you have that, it's affecting your brain. It doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you have one spiritual issue that is going on with you. It just tells you that, okay, your brain is sick and you need to fix it, and there's certain things that you need to start doing, certain habits that you need to start learning and unlearning to make life better for you. And it also helped me recognize the symptoms and eradicate my ignorant belief of going mad. Like, whew, I could breathe again, you know. Like, you know, these days when I'm having heart palpitations, having, you know, the crazy thoughts in my head, or when my thoughts are just going, you know, I tell myself, okay, you're just anxious. So what happened to make you anxious? You know, I'm not going crazy. Okay, I'm going mad. I'm going mad. I'm going mad. I'm going mad. It helped me eradicate that belief that I was going mad each time I was having those symptoms, you know. And it's helped me connect with other people going through the same thing, and also giving me hope that even though I am going through anxiety, going through generalized anxiety disorder, I can have a normal life. I can live, I can love, I can laugh, I can be happy. And it's helped me control my panic attacks. Like, I can't remember the last time I had a panic attack. I can't. Absolutely can't remember the last time I had a panic attack. And this is not to say I don't get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed sometimes where I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to do anything. Yes. But my mind, you know, going haywire, my mind also recognizes that this is just anxiety and it will pass. You know, it will pass. I've had moments afterwards where, you know, I can still sleep. But at the same time, it's not as terrible as the previous time when I didn't know what was going on with me. So in conclusion, I put myself first. I conquered my fears and living an almost blissful life amidst it all. And all you need to do is take that step. You know, I know there's a lot of stigma behind going to see a therapist and everything, like I said, but at the same time, you can do it. Like, you need to take steps to take care of your mind just as much as you take care of your body. This is not to say everybody has mental health issues, like, no, come on. But it's a good thing to check up on yourself, on your mind, just as much as you check up on your body. You know, go see someone, talk about stuff with someone, because the more you accumulate stuff, the more you tend to bring stuff down and make them seem irrelevant. You know, it's going to be really intense. So I'm living a more productive life. I am recognizing myself now and my symptoms and taking better care of myself. And I know you can as well. And I'm so sorry that this video was all over the place. Like, please forgive me. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Until next time, please go watch my other videos so that you know where the stories and everything is coming from. I hope you enjoyed the video. So till next time, bye.